All right, welcome to the Retreat Ranch Possibility and Creation webinar.
Yay.
Yeah,
Did you hit record? I didn't see it.
I hit record. It's
Okay,
recording.
good. Okay.
Cool. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started here for you. If you want to scroll to the next slide, Miss Melissa.
Yes. Oop, there we go.
Cool. All right. I am Brooke Mackey Jones. I am a transformational life coach. I help people that are in transition, leave their past behind, discover their powers, and create a life that they love living. A little bit of my background, I actually went to school to become an elementary school teacher. And I realized that the classroom is not really cut out for me and what I would really like to create in the world. So I left that, became a personal trainer, and then also picked up a cognitive training certificate. So I know how to reprogram your brain so it works effectively, which is pretty cool. But what I really discovered, what's really lit the spark and lit my passion, is my own personal healing and recovery journey. Trauma, physical, sexual, emotional, verbal trauma is all part of my past. And my old way of dealing with it was to numb out. And so I ended up with some addictions that I had to heal as well. I got married and divorced really young. And after I got divorced, I realized that I was the common denominator in my life. And I embarked on this spiritual journey, which actually led me to meeting Melissa 2.5 years ago. We were both at the Landmark Forum, which is this fantastic weekend event that just really cracks you open. And we were both there having recently experienced some pretty significant and debilitating trauma in our lives. And the weekend was awesome. It was transformative. It was empowering. And then you leave there and there's not really support for people that have dealt with trauma, that are trying to overcome and heal that. There really aren't the facilities or the services available out there that you would find for like an addiction or a physical ailment. And we just started chatting recently and we discovered that we both have this common vision that we're going to talk to you about tonight. We're so excited about what's being created here and what potential this has to impact the planet and the people in it. So I'll let Melissa introduce herself.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. I don't think I know anybody else on this webinar. Well, I know Patrick, but I know through Brooke. So yay. So a little bit about who I am, kind of where I started. So my background, like formal education, was in sustainable tourism. I really was like passionate about sustainability, and I just wanted to take vacations for a living. So I figured out how to like combine all of that. And so I feel like everything in my life has led me up until this point. So for me, more recently, I guess for the past 10 years, I've been involved with some kind of personal development. And then I met Brooke a couple of years ago in a Landmark Forum. And so then I went on to go into some of the higher levels of courses that they have with Landmark. Most notably, in 2017, I did a year-long program called the Team Management and Leadership Program. It was very intense. It was very focused on the communication curriculum that they have at Landmark. And from that program, I really saw, I don't really do anything in life without a team behind me anymore. Like the Lone Ranger program, it doesn't really work. And that's been a huge thing in my life, to create teams and teamwork in any situation, and how much easier my life gets when I have more people around me. And so that's a little bit, why I'm creating this webinar. A really brief, just like history and why I am passionate about this is that 2.5 years ago, I did experience a very intense sexual assault. And I've been and I'm currently going through the legal process of that. And there's no way that I would be standing today if I didn't have my team of people, if I didn't have amazing women like Brooke in my life standing for my greatness, instead of all of the stories and all the crap that goes on in your head. So I want to be able to pay that forward to everybody else who's ever experienced that. And currently I've been looking for like a retreat center or something like that you can go to for a week, for a month, for 90 days, whatever. And I just really can't find anything that specifically focuses on trauma. There's a lot of things for addiction, but not really just focused on trauma, because not everybody that's traumatized comes up with an addiction, right? And sometimes it's co-occurring for sure. So that's a little bit of my story and past, and I'm super excited to welcome all you guys and see what else is possible here that we can't even think of. That's why the more the merrier. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So, all right, so the possibility. So everything that we do when we're creating something new, this is something that was certainly taught in Landmark, is create a possibility around it. And this was the possibility that we came up with for this retreat ranch. And that's sort of our working title. Of course, we don't have any branding. This is the very beginning. But we're the possibility of creating magical transformation through authentic connection to nature, play, and community. All of those words really have a lot of power behind them. And so that's something that really means a lot to us.
You go feet first.
Yeah. Cool. So let's go to the next slide. So Brooke, if you want to go over that.
Okay, so I'm going to invite you to come on a journey with us. I just want you to sit and take a deep breath and just imagine that you are suddenly in this space where the air is fresh and there's running water and there are birds chirping in the background, and you can hear the rustle of the aspen trees. Imagine the healing that can happen when you're immersed in nature like that. When every meal you are eating food that has been grown with love on the property, where you have the guidance and the support and the compassion of a highly qualified team of people that believe in your greatness, that support you and your vision for your life. Hey, Patrick, can you mute yourself, sweet? Thank you.
Lily seems to enjoy it.
She does seem to enjoy it. So
Sorry, she unmuted me.
banish everything that has been holding you back. That's the whole point of coming. So we're just going to banish every single thing that has been holding you back. The lies, the judgment, the limiting beliefs, your past, like who you think you are, and create a life and a vision beyond your wildest dreams. Okay, so what we are envisioning is a 100+ acre ranch in Montana. If you have never been on 100 acres, it is enough space that you can't see your neighbor's house. It is enough space that we can have animals and wildlife and ample building opportunity and plenty of room, plenty of elbow room to just really ground and center yourself and unplug. So ideally, this property that we're looking for, we would like it to be kind of set up like this. It's enough space that you don't have neighbors, yes. Ideally, what we would really like to have would be to have space that's surrounded by national forest or BML land that we can have access to as well. We are envisioning taking people out on hikes to challenge their bodies physically, to take them out on horseback rides, etc. You can scroll to the next one. On this property, we also would like to have a healing center and a spa. So this is not just a dude ranch. That there are a lot of dude ranches in Montana, but this is a place where you can really come to unplug and to heal mind, body, and soul. So some of the healing center and spa offerings that we'd like to have, everything from Reiki and aroma touch to having your bars run to massage. And I'd really like to have float tanks. If you've never done a float tank experience, that can be really deep and powerful. Basically what it does is it's sensory sensory isolation. Is that the right word? I'm sure.
Deprivation.
There you go. Deprivation. You got it. Teamwork. It makes the dream work. But the whole idea is to just really come and unplug and remove yourself from this way of life that you've been living. Because when you do that, you suddenly, like, you have a blank slate. It shakes up your reality enough you can do something different. You can switch to the next one. So in creating this, we are really interested in building this in a sustainable fashion. We don't want to create a space that is just based on more of this materialism and consumerism. What we do want to create is something that actually works in harmony with the ecosystem and in harmony with the community in whatever area it is that we end up. So one of the things that we've been talking about doing, this picture on the left, the permaculture farm to table, that is a 30-acre permaculture farm. Permaculture meaning it works in harmony with the ecosystem. There is no weeding. It is all organic growing. And this permaculture farm, this 30-acre farm, could feed the town of Kalispell, which is about 22,000 people, just to give you an idea of what's possible in a smaller space. We also definitely would like to look into solar, off-grid, maybe even a wind farm, just kind of depending on where we end up. But the whole idea, again, is just to be as sustainable as possible. Okay, lodging. This part's super exciting. We've been thinking about lodging, and if you have 100 acres, you have enough space to actually have different forms of lodging. So we would like to have some form of main lodge where we can all meet, we can share meals together, we can spend time just hanging out and relaxing, a big comfortable space for all of us. We also love the idea of a tiny house village. Tiny houses, number one, they're like kind of all the rage and the trend right now. You can have really luxury amenities in a small space. And the nice thing about a tiny house is a lot of them are built on trailers, so they're actually movable. We could move them to other parts of the property if we wanted to. So that's something that's cool. The other thing that we were thinking about that we would really love to have, if we could have anything.
We can create, it's like this webinar, like we can create anything that we want. And we get that this is like a bit, like this is big dreams right now. And we're going to have to whittle it down into the process of, you know, what do we do first, second, third. But I mean, if you're going to dream, you might as well dream as big as you can.
Yeah. So tree houses, because what person has like never wanted to be in a tree house?
Yes.
That's been a dream of mine since I was 3. And really, when I look at this whole property has been a lifelong dream of mine that's now beginning to unfold. And I can't wait to see what people jump on and contribute and what else gets created. Okay, so next one. Event space. We would really like to have both an indoor event space because it's Montana and they do have winter and it snows a lot. And there's some plans and pictures right here, pardon me, of this really cool barn house event space. That would be really cool. And we would like to have an outdoor amphitheater. You could do performances, plays, our outdoor teaching in this space. And what we would really like to do is host music festivals on the property. Okay, activities. Really, there are no limits to the possibilities that are available if you have this much space, but we want to include everything from art classes to classes on how to grow a permaculture farm to
cooking classes.
Yeah, horseback riding, art classes from like not just painting and sketching, but throwing clay and hiking tours.
Like all the things. And you can imagine it. We have the space to do it. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So other revenue. The reality is that opening a retreat center like this, we aren't going to be hosting a transformation retreat every weekend or every week or every month. We do have a schedule that we've kind of worked out that is tentative. However, in order to support the ranch and the revenue, we will be hosting weddings, couples coaching, and retreats, things like that. We will also be renting the space out to other coaches that would like to host their retreat in our space. And Montana just passed in May of 2017 medical marijuana legislation. So there's potential for that as income as well.
Yeah, and something else that I thought of when I was putting this together this evening was I know a good friend who actually has a hemp farm up in northern Colorado. And hemp is, I mean, it's pretty profitable endeavor, and that can be done outside. And I don't know what the laws are in Montana about it, but I know you can do it in Colorado.
Yeah, and hemp's an interesting thing because hemp can actually replace thousands of products right now that are causing a lot of harm to the planet, and it is completely biodegradable.
Yeah, so. And then like the CBD and everything else, we could use that in our therapies. I'm selling the CBD oil too, so yay, cool. So I think that's kind of the big vision that we have so far, and this is why everybody's on here, is to see like what else are we not thinking about. So with the team of people that we're looking for, so this is like the team that we would have, that we see that we would need to have to, make the dream work on the ranch. So first off, I think that if we're working with trauma, that having some certified and professional mental health therapists would be important, because therapy is different than coaching. And I think with the topic of trauma, there's a place for both of those. I don't think that you can have one without the other, because therapy really helps you solve all the problems from the past, and then coaching really helps you move forward into a vision that you're really excited to live. Because when you have that vision, then life is endlessly possible. So other coaches, of course, Brooke and I are coaches, and we'd probably be looking at, it depends on all the different programs we'd be doing, but other coaches. And then if other coaches are out there that wanted to do retreats at our center, that would be available. For the spa, of course, body therapists and healers, all different kinds. So acupuncture, Reiki, everything, right? Massage, all of that. We're also thinking with the spa that might be something that we could open up to the local population as well as a different revenue stream. So having a 100+ acre ranch definitely takes, some property management. We want to make sure that we're doing it in the most sustainable way possible that is really in alignment with the earth. So having somebody that is well-versed in that would be great as a property manager. If we're doing permaculture and growing our own food, some agricultural specialists. Well, I'm not afraid to dig in the dirt. It's actually not my specialty. So we would love to have somebody that's like specializing in that. Imagine that we'll be building quite a bit of things. So construction knowledge and contractors would be useful. More immediately, like the legal and accounting side of things. So getting, a lawyer to help us, just set up the business so that we're doing this all in a way that benefits everybody. And then accounting, and we're not just talking any local CPA, we're talking like somebody that believes in the vision and that wants to, think outside the box a little bit with accounting. So like, and then because we want to have the farm, we were thinking about having also, like on Saturdays, we were opening it up to like as a restaurant for local people. We want to have, it's like farm to table, all of that, but we would need some chefs on board and some different, restaurateurs, and then, yoga personal trainers. Excuse me. So, and then, of course, sales and marketing professionals, like this doesn't move unless somebody, is moving the product and moving the service.
Oh, you just muted yourself. Oh, you're coughing.
I got it. And then, I don't want to cough in everybody's face. And then, of course, like the biggest thing right now, the only thing that would really be stopping us is just the money question. So we're looking at what else is possible, what kind of philanthropists are out there, what kind of investors are out there, like conscious investors. I know that that's possible. So I think you know, a lot of this is something that we would be setting up in a business plan. So I think our most immediate need right now is really people that any of you could connect us with, or if it's yourself included, of people that can help us really put this together in a really formal business plan, and other people that are connected with that investing community. Yeah, so I think that's our most immediate need, and then all of this other stuff kind of comes in. But we put this up here because we wanted to put it out to everybody that's on this webinar, is like, where would you fit in? Or do you know somebody that would fit in a place? Or is there somebody that we're missing on this and you have something that you want to provide that, or contribute, that would fit within this stream and this model? So cool. So I think that's kind of, I don't know, Brooke, I think we should maybe like open it up if everybody wanted to unmute themselves, and we can kind of get some feedback. And then after that, we are going to give away an hour of coaching for both Brooke and I. So 2 of you are our lucky winners. I think maybe there's only 2 extra people on here. So I think Patrick, it doesn't count. So I don't know, but yeah, why don't we open it up to everybody? If everybody wants to unmute yourselves and let us know what you think.
Well, I think it's a wonderful idea. Although I don't see a witch on your team, Brooke. What's up with that?
Okay, I'll relabel it.
Wait, me and her and all of us.
Coaches/witches.
Very PC of you.
Yes.
I really do think it's a wonderful idea. Not sure what I could contribute, though.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, guys. I'm Cynthia. This is Ellis.
Hi, I'm Ellis.
I do want to say that this is literally like everything we have been talking about, just about everything, maybe more. Probably.
Yeah, probably an extension of what we've said so far, what we envision.
Yeah, but we haven't even gotten to the point where you guys are. We just have been like thinking like, oh, it'd be cool to do this, but we're still waiting to figure out how to make that happen. And then we came across this. So I wanted to share with you guys, I am a coach, and I'm also a Reiki healer. I'm about to do my Reiki master level, so I'll be able to start teaching and really developing a community. And that is like one of my biggest dreams. I want to be a teacher of energy healing. And I'm also getting my yoga teacher training next year, so I will also be a yoga instructor. So that would be a way that maybe I could help contribute in that sense, aside from coaching. But the other thing that we want to do is we really want to get into the agricultural part of it, the permaculture stuff. We are also big on sustainability. We live in a fifth wheel right now. And I don't know, he's more into it than I am about the farming.
Yeah, I guess my skill set I bring is I was in the military as a broadcast journalist for 4 years. And so I have videography skills. And so we use that for our business. But just like any kind of video projects or marketing with video, that's kind of my forte. But this whole sustainable farm has been my dream for years now. All that, like the whole tiny home community where we all barter with one another. Like, you know, you got the chicken guy, you got the guy growing the green beans, you got, you know, that I've dreamed about that forever. And so I don't know, it's really cool to see other people like 2 steps ahead of us, like doing exactly what we dream about doing. And so it's really cool.
Yeah, the good thing is that like this, I have a feeling that there's a lot of people with this dream, and what happens when we all come together is magic. Like that after a year on the team management leadership program, it's like, there's nothing that's impossible. Like, no, do I have the money to like throw down to do this all right now? No, but somebody does. And all I need to do is continue to share and enroll others in my vision. And that's the start of what we're starting right here with this webinar. And we're going to be doing another one in a couple weeks.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so you just never know what's possible when you start actually sharing your possibility. It's like when it's in your head, it's a great place for it to hang out, but it doesn't like happen in reality until you start sharing it. And like we'll probably mess a lot of things up. I'm okay with that.
That's probably what I was thinking.
I'm totally okay with that.
Another thing that may be something that you guys need to know, we both were also in education for the past 5 years.
Mhm.
So he was a teacher and I was a translator. So I don't know, I guess developing art, music classes, workshops, stuff like that, we could probably
Just
also
elementary
pitch in.
education in general. Just child development was literally all I studied for a while. And so
Mhm.
it's just a skill set, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I wonder if, because Brooke, you have that background too, just, we're all just creating here. I think Brooke and I did have kind of a vision of like having some kids programs as well. And then I'm just thinking like, how can we get it out bigger into the world? Like if we had, is there some kind of virtual way that we can bring people in that would be really engaging? I have no idea. I have no background in that kind of stuff, but just something to think about.
Because one of the things that I've really had as a vision for a long time now, one of my biggest frustrations with working in education is that teachers are kind of forced to teach a bunch of things that kids don't really need to know. And there are all these things that would actually be really valuable tools that would allow kids to grow up into being happy, healthy adults.
It's almost come to the point where teachers aren't even necessary. You go to school, you become a teacher, and you think, okay, I've done all this years of schooling, and I'm going to go to my school, and I'm great. And then you get there, and they just hand you a curriculum, and they're just like, okay, you're just going to follow this. And it's like, why the heck did I go to school? I could have just showed up and been somebody and just filled this slot of playing babysitter with this curriculum. And so I'm very frustrated with the education system. I envision a whole different way of education when it comes to all of that. And so I don't know.
His last school that he was at, they really were focused around mindfulness, and so they did a lot of mindfulness work with the kids and getting them into their body, into their emotions, and like just learning how to handle that before they have to learn how to sit in a classroom for hours on end and do a bunch of work.
And so my job there was a student success coach. And so when kids would have meltdowns, I would be the one who'd come in, get them to get out of the classroom, get them back in their bodies, get them mindful again, and get them to understand what the root cause of the issue was, and then get them back in class as quickly as possible so that they don't miss out on anything and they're actually able to absorb the information. They're not sitting there going, oh my goodness, I'm so mad about this. So the schools...
I would have figured out that was something, so I would have acted up a lot more because I'm like, sweet, I get to go do mindfulness with Ellis.
I had a lot of kids that would come do that.
I would have rigged that system real bad.
Yoga, we would do whatever it was that I could think of that was just...
Art was a really a good way to transition through all of that for the kids with him.
It was a lot of fun. I did enjoy that, but at the same point, it was just curriculum in the classrooms. So...
For me, I got to do more work like with the family side of things. Since I was an interpreter, I had to be the bridge of communication between the schools and the parents and the things going on in the home. So I get to see more of the social work side of the school. And for me, I don't know when or how or what this is going to include, but eventually would like to be able to set up some type of like support system for parents and giving them resources and tools to help them raise their kids and deal with certain emotional behaviors that they have, because sometimes kids, they have a freak out and the parents have no idea what to do and they just let them run wild. And then when they get to school, the kids don't know how to handle structure. And it just really, really throws off the whole family dynamic. So, I don't know. I feel like that would be something eventually I would also throw somewhere in there.
Hey, really quick, I want to get who else is on this webinar. I have a 720 number and a 214 number. Can you guys say hello and introduce yourselves really quick just so I can put you in the list?
I'm the 720 number. I'm Kimberly. I went to school with Brooke way back when, but I'm currently an attorney in Texas, so I think I can help at least a little bit with a lot of like your legal questions. I can't technically give legal advice since you're a Colorado resident, but I can certainly help like connect you that way and help with that at least to sort of get you started there.
Yeah, some of it is like, I don't know what I don't know about legal.
Right.
So maybe
Yeah.
it's like, okay, these are the types of people that you need to be talking to, or this is the kind of lawyer or whatever, right?
Right.
Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, and it's true because you're going to need a lot of different roles there. And I actually specialize in working with businesses and with startup companies and stuff. And so I can certainly bring a lot of knowledge into like your formation and the different kind of like legal issues that you're going to be looking at as you come forward.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
I'm so excited. Thank you for being on the call, Ms. Kimberly. I was telling her the other day, like this vision is kind of like being back in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And the stuff that we used to do back in 5th grade, but bringing it to adults so they can tap back into that inner child so they can come and play.
Right. And I think it's such a cool idea. And so I'd love to help in any way I can. And so I can certainly at least help with that.
Awesome. And then of course, like, you know, as we're just starting here, you know, the intention would be anybody that's here, like on this creation team, like, you know, you're going to be able to come up and enjoy the space, you know.
And Montana is beautiful. I have family up there. So right in the Kalispell area, and it's gorgeous.
Awesome.
Totally. And so who's the 214 number? I think if you're on the phone, if you can't, there we go.
That's my dad's phone number. Let's see
It is?
if he'll chime in.
Okay. So
Maybe.
it's Morris, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good. I just didn't know. I wanted to make sure I have everybody on the list for our little drawing. So everybody's accounted for. Okay. So anything else that you guys are seeing? Like what, you know, we can dream as big as we want. What else?
I do want to chime in real quick, Cynthia here. We have a couple of coworkers ex-coworkers that were mental health therapists.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is actually trauma informed, and she does a lot of work around sensory work.
Mm-hmm.
And she also does EMDR and a whole bunch of other stuff. So she has a huge, massive range of disciplines, of theories.
Mm-hmm.
So I could ask her and see if maybe she'd be interested in chiming in, or if she knows of any other providers that may be wanting to jump in on this.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, so the next webinar
Guys,
it's going to be, go ahead.
What's up?
I love how you're dreaming so big. There's so much fun to hear and to watch. I was just wondering if you had considered starting on a small scale immediately.
Yeah, so that is absolutely something that we're looking at. We're actually looking to secure a space here in Colorado sometime in the next 4 to 8 weeks, because we would like to do a 2-day condensed mini version of what we'll eventually be doing on the ranch to kind of start to get this going. Did you have any other ideas on that, on what we could do?
I was thinking about maybe renting a house and fitting it out as maybe not the spa yet, but as a sort of holistic center where you could do the therapies and you could do the sessions and you could maybe do small classes, and without taking I'm getting tap into the energy of the creation in the big scale by actualizing it in the small scale first. I don't know if I'm making any sense to anybody.
Complete.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's what I was getting just now, hearing all of you. And you could start also working with kids that way. And yeah, that's my idea. I'm not sure what else will pop, but I'll let you know as soon as it pops, Brooke, because
Cool.
I'm just a witch from Mexico City. I have nowhere near all you guys' skill sets.
Nonsense.
So witch.
I'm sure you have things that we don't have. Right?
Probably, but I could not list them out.
Well, I think what would be good is everybody that's on this webinar, and then, we'll be doing these a few times. If we maybe started a Facebook group, Brooke, with everybody, and we could start communicating that way, like in the meantime, so we're all not just waiting for a webinar. So if you get like an idea or hit, you can just throw it up in the Facebook group. I think that would be a really great idea. If anybody does not want to be on the Facebook group, just let us know. But I think, you guys are all pretty amazing. So would want you there.
Cool. I will do that. Awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for jumping on. And really, usually what happens when you launch a possibility like this and you start to get into the ideas, what will happen is more will bubble up later. So definitely I'll create the Facebook group tonight. Definitely jump in there if anything bubbles up. If you think of somebody that might be interested or might be a contribution or some other idea, definitely jump in and share that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we were going to be talking soon to the one of the small business development centers, because I've gone through that before. Like they have a few different kind of incubator programs, and they might have some resources for us as well. But if anybody else has anything, especially around business planning and investors.
There's actually a lot of really great online resources for creating business plans and getting a lot of stuff that way. A lot depends on where you guys want to incorporate, because that will determine a lot of interest. And so being able to at least get the business formed and starting there is a really good place to start as a startup. Because it'll show that you're really serious about it. And then from there, you can start looking into creating a really formal business plan and then working with investors. And with this type of thing, you're probably looking at more doing angel investors. And usually if they can call it a tax break, it's a great way for them to be able to get into it.
Yeah, we've thought about doing a for-profit and nonprofit model, like a mixed model with our business as well, which I would have no idea how to make sure that that's legal, but
right. And it depends on sort of what your goal is. As a nonprofit, you can still have it making money, and you can pay your CEOs and stuff, but it all goes back into the nonprofit to keep it going. And you'll do a lot of donation and stuff like that. And so that's working with 501c3s. But if you want to do it as an actual corporation, then you do, depending on how big your formation team is, you would do a C Corp or an S Corp. And from there, you get your business plan created and everything. Most investors are looking for corporations rather than LLCs. Mm-hmm. And so you probably want to go more corporation, but it really depends on what your end goals are.
Mm-hmm.
How about one of those GoFundMe things? Have you thought about that?
Yes.
Definitely. GoFundMe is largely used for smaller donations. This project, just to give you a rundown on the properties that I found and kind of the scope and sequence there, we could start with blank property. You can buy 100 plus acres for anywhere from 100,000 to $1 million plus. And then we could build infrastructure. What I would really like to do is actually buy a property that has at least some of it already set up, just to remove some of the headache, especially with us coming from Colorado up to Montana. So buying a place that already has, current electricity to the property, we can add solar later. well already dug, some roads in, maybe a place to stay while we build this. So those properties range.
I thought we were going to stay in the teepee.
Right? Oh, the teepee with the pterodactyl. That would be.
Yeah.
That would be an
Okay,
adventure.
your teepee is on the other side of the property then.
Okay, she's really loud.
We can build her own teepee.
So those properties, depending on where we choose, ideally this space is going to be within 30 to 45 minutes of an airport. We want people to be able to get to the property easily. Ideally, it would be surrounded by or close to national forest land that we could tap into as well. And the properties that I found that have some infrastructure set up range anywhere from like 230,000 up to, into the millions range.
You can spend as much as you want.
Yeah. I mean, if there is no limit, there's a couple of $18 million properties I have my eyeballs on.
I saw one for 27 million.
Nice.
I was like drooling.
Yeah. And then you can also go the route of, there are properties that have a lot of this infrastructure in place, that have the conference rooms and the bigger meeting areas and the lodging for multiple people to be there, or multiple groups to be there on the property. And those, we found one for 1.8 million. We found a couple others for 2.5. So that's kind of the range of if we were to buy something that was pre-set up for us.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think going back to like the funding aspect, I think this would be a lot more appropriate for something like Indiegogo or Kickstarter rather than GoFundMe. But it's the same concept.
It's the only name I know.
Yeah. And so, like, we could get Ellis to maybe help us out with some videos for that.
Yeah, with videos like that, it just depends on, how long you want to make them, what kind of style you want to make them. It all really just depends on what you want to do. Usually an example is a good place to start. Find something that you like and then, warp and copy and make it different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what is it? What is the quote? It's like, good artists create newly, the best artists steal.
That's what teachers do. Steal and warp, steal and warp, steal and warp.
Yeah, totally.
The best teachers do that too.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the best ones I know did.
I mean, there's nothing that hasn't been done or thought of. It's really just like, who's willing to take the most action to make it happen?
Right.
And so I'm actually, what I did for the military was just broadcast journalism. So like if like state emergency duties, I would go and I would just do news type things. But with our personal business, I've done a lot of like self-promotion. With her coaching business, I've done a lot of her like testimonial videos, stuff like that. Recently, I've been working with a fashion designer. I'm trying to do some fashion videos. I'm getting ready to take another course to kind of just super up my video skills, just to make animation something that I can be capable of doing too, which I think would be super helpful for promotion for these kinds of things too.
Yeah.
So, no, that's something that's definitely possible for me.
Cool.
With all these amazing people that we know.
That's the beauty of this and creating this, is that what I'm really envisioning is a team of people where every single person is working in their area of genius. They are utilizing their own personal gifts and talents. They get to feel fulfilled and be part of something bigger in the world, right? Like, we're creating this to create a shift in the world.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah. I don't know.
What's funny? I actually know of a property that has everything, but it's in Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, who knows what the universe
It might be for sale.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
It used to be a girls' camp.
Awesome.
Who knows? I mean, the Montana thing was just a hit, so who knows what opens up? I mean, that's the cool thing about getting some energy going. I live in Colorado right now, and it's gorgeous here.
I would love to do it in Colorado, but
yeah,
has wanted to do something in Colorado for years now, and he's thought a little more into depth on like some of the concepts as well. He's a big sustainability guy, and so just like agriculturally, he knows quite a lot, and he spent quite a significant amount of time out in California, and so he actually might know quite a bit on like the growing of medical marijuana side and stuff like that. And if he doesn't, he would probably know connections to benefit us, because he's been wanting to do something like this for years, I know.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. Invite him. We're going to be doing this again on the 24th, so we'll put out another invitation. Anyone that you know that you feel like might be interested or might have some knowledge, awesome. Bring them on board.
Yeah.
Because really, the research that I've done on Colorado property, unfortunately, we've been in such a population boom for so long now that supply and demand has caused property value to just skyrocket.
We visited this summer, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah, my little house by DU is worth almost $500,000.
Why are you echoing?
I don't know. You are too.
Hi. Your like speaker is coming through on your headphones. That's weird. There it goes. That's better. Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
I
just muted and unmuted.
Strange.
Yeah, so Colorado property, we're looking at like there is no property out there for $200,000 like you could find in Montana.
Yeah.
There's actually a space that I really love, and I'll post the video of it. It's called The Place of Gathering, and it overlooks Flathead Reservoir, and it is surrounded by mountains, and this is where the 30-acre permaculture farm is already up and running. So the woman that owns it, her name is Katerina, and when she bought the property, the previous owners had just completely destroyed this wetland space. They just poured pebble everywhere and destroyed it. So she brought in Sepp Holzer, who is the world's leading permaculture expert, and they actually did a seminar. People paid to come, and they came and helped to do the work on the property, and they installed this 30-acre farm system. And it's incredible. It's in a space where all of the Native American tribes used to come to meet, to celebrate and connect and trade and barter. And it's called the Place of Gathering. So that one's interesting because it actually, it's been on the market for 2 years now, and she's facing foreclosure. In fact, right now, the bank should be taking back over the property, which is kind of a sad thing. However, for us, from a financial perspective, it could be a really great opportunity. It was originally listed at $800,000, but she only owes $420,000 on the loan. And I bought my house in a short sale for less than what the people owed. I think we could probably pick it up for $330,000, and it already has structures in place as well. So
and the farm already built.
Yeah,
I like that idea, Brooke, that she brought a bunch of people in for a seminar that helped build it.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of like things could we do when we're building a different, like, okay, we're going to build the barn. It's going to be a barn raising like retreat or something, just different things that we could do themed around that for as we're growing and expanding it. Like, how cool is that?
You could do a tiny house retreat. How many people are wanting to learn how to build a tiny house? And so you bring them out and you equip them with some of the skills, and they help you on your project, and we get these things built. So the sky is the limit as far as we can create a whole curriculum around what we need to get done.
Yes, I love it. I think it's just like we just keep creating and creating and creating and bringing more people in to join us in that creation. Like, how juicy and amazing is that?
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, the bigger this stream gets, the lighter it feels for me. And what's light for you is true for you. So I'm so excited to watch it all unfold.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So Brooke, you're going to set up the Facebook group. So any kind of, so guys, if anybody, you can contribute as much as you want to in that Facebook group. Any ideas you have, any links to anything that might be interesting to you that you're like, oh, I think that would be interesting for this. Like, feel free to share as much as you want, because we never know, like, you just never know what's going to happen, right? So I would love to make this group like really interactive and as engaged as possible to create this. So cool. Well, does anybody else have anything that they want to add at the moment? Okay. So the next, let's go over, so the next webinar, if you guys want to put it down in your dates, and then if Brooke, you want to post it in the Facebook group as well, it's going to be Monday, September 24th at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay, so you guys put it in your calendar if you want to come. If you're not able to make it, that's fine. Invite anybody that you think should be here, all of that fun stuff. So I think that kind of wraps everything up, except we were going to give away some coaching. You guys ready for that? All right, drum roll. So I just pulled up random.org and I have everybody's name. I hope you can see it. Yes. Can you see that? Can you see the random?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do I have everybody on here? I have Cynthia, Ellis, Marion, and Kimberly. Is there anybody else that I need to put on this list? And then I'll do a random poll for whoever comes up first on the list 2 times. Is that everybody?
That's everybody except for my dad and Patrick, but they get lots of free coaching.
Okay, got it. All right, so I'm going to hit randomize. Come on, let's go. All right, so Cynthia, you get the first hour of coaching. And then I'm going to hit again. And then Ellis, fun. So the couple has won an hour of coaching. And then the last thing here, we'll go ahead and set that up with you guys. But I want to give everybody our contact information here. It's really easy to connect with both of us through Facebook Messenger. So we put our profiles if we're not already friends with you, find us there, or you can email us. So Brooke is morebindbodysoul@gmail, and mine is melissa@lionsliving.com. Cool. All right.
Awesome.
So anything else from anybody?
The group is up and running, and I'm creating this new event.
Awesome. So much easier when you have a team.
It seriously is.
Yes. All right. Well, I think we're done for the night.
Awesome.
Right.
Thanks you guys for being here.
Sweet. All right.
Have a good one.
Love you all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.